So, Arsenal won. Chelsea, talk to us nicely. Excuse me, boss. What team you support? Can't you see? Yeah, hold on, mate. Has anyone seen Jason Cundy? Has anyone seen Matisse? Has anyone seen Johnny Minerals? Has anyone seen Jimmy Spliff? Has anyone seen CB Millie? has, has anyone seen all the Chelsea fans chatting absolute nonsense? Yo, Carefree Lewis and Don Lutional, where you at? Yeah, talk nice.
You left that one person. Hello, Tony Rolfe. I know you.
Rolfie, talk to us nicely. Yeah, not quite Roman Abramovich here. The Roman Empire has fallen, mate. Now you have a PE teacher in charge that looks like my pal in Sevilla, and my pal in Sevilla is a better manager than him because he's won 3 trophies, mate. Yeah, you're saying. Make sure you follow Kenny Ken 1972. Kenny, you was there live and direct, en directo. Yeah, you was there, Kenny. I said to you backstage, that is the most chilled I have been watching a football game since we won the FA Cup in 2020. And I don't know why I turned into a top gooner today. Yeah, my manager got us over the line. My manager weren't bouncing around tonight. That is what I see from him. That is what I want from him. We made 2 subs, Kenny. Yeah. People are going all the way through my chat and they're like, this is boring, this is crap. I was like, relax, they're rubbish. They ain't doing nothing. Leave him to that. What's he going to do? Yeah, they're bringing Zestoval. Yeah, they're bringing cold Palmer. Cold Palmer froze, bruv. They're putting him back in the freezer.
You know what it is, you know what it is. Well, first and foremost, it was very tense before the match. They had the usual obligatory light show. But you're right. From what I saw, I was saying to the guy, my friend next to me, when I saw Liam Delap on the ball, I said, championship player. And that's not a dig at him. It's just
do you reckon he's got a better first touch than our striker, Kenny?
It's not a case of having a better first touch. I just looked at him, right, and I thought, this guy's not at the level. They played him, and I could see what both managers was doing. It was a case where both Arsenal, the onus was never on Arsenal to actually go for it. I know fans want us to go for it. I know fans think that Chelsea are not as good as us. However, we've been starved of so many, getting close to success. What I mean by that is that the closer you can get, the closest to getting success is being in the final. We haven't had a final for 6 years. Let's not forget we went out the semi-finals of the Champions League and the League Cup last year. We went out the semi-finals of the Europa League in 2021, and 2022 we went out the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup against Liverpool. Cup. So you've got to remember one thing: as much as fans want us to play with panache, want us to play with abandon, they want Eze to do his what he does at Crystal Palace. It was all about everyone singing at the same hymn sheet. It was all about giving Chelsea nothing. They didn't like scoring today. That was an achievement in itself. Everyone worked their nuts off. Martinelli made sacrifices. Eze made sacrifices. Gyökeres made sacrifices. Madueke, made sacrifices. It was on Chelsea, and that's all we really care about. Yes, there are instances in the game where maybe we could have committed more, but the thing is, you've got to remember one thing. We knew what was coming. We knew that in the second half, Rossinior was going to play his hand. We knew Cole Palmer was going to come. We knew Esteval was going to come on. And we knew that he was going to bring on Garnacho. But all we had to do is keep our bloody shape. And that's what you've got to do. Keep your shape, And that's what we did. How many times did Garnacho get in behind our defence? Not once.
Never.
That's a testament of how well we played.
That was the easiest day's work he's had all season.
And you think of Hincapié as well.
He was off the match, Kenny.
Hincapié easily took care of Delap, locked off Esteval. There was a situation where Malagusto had to be the one who was making those runs in beyond. And every cross that Chelsea put in, we blocked. Declan Rice blocked crosses. Trossard's blocking crosses. It was basically a situation where it was all about operation getting to Wembley. We could do whatever we want at Wembley. We could either entertain or keep it cagey. It's all about getting over the line. Yes, there was nervousness. Yes, the handbrake was on, but it's understandable. Yes, people were frustrated with Eze, and I get it. Respect you for that. But you've got to remember one thing. Eze's are the only player that we have who hasn't had a significant injury apart from Raya.
Yeah.
If you go through the injuries, Timber's had an injury, Sleeper and Gabriel had injuries, Hincape's had an injury, Skelly's had injury, Skelly's had
Saka.
Odegaard, Saka.
Rice has had a little injury.
Rice had he's only a fresh player. So if you want what was required for Eze was to run. Block,
and then he kept it simple, Kenny.
He kept it simple.
Got the ball, just pops it off. He weren't trying to be flush.
Don't get me wrong. It's not how he wants to play, but the fact is, he's probably earned the biggest respect for his manager because he obeyed his manager's instructions. Facts. And sometimes the end justified the means. Now, you know me, you, Jez, DJB, Shane, Ola, and Natty. We like to play with a bit of panache. We like the football we were playing under Wenger when Wenger was very, very good. But there's sometimes you have to be a bit of George Graham today. This is a George Graham performance.
I'm so glad you fucking said that.
This is George Graham performance. Everyone just dug in, made themselves difficult to beat, and played to the game plan. We knew when to keep the ball, we knew when to be physical, and we knew to be organised. And this is what Liverpool did to us a few weeks ago. This is what Nottingham Forest did to us, and this is what some of them are going to try to do to us. We gave Chelsea a bit of the medicine that we've been suffering previously, and that's what you got to do. Chelsea are a big club. Yes, they're average. Yes, they don't have Drogba. They don't have a Petr Cech Chelsea version. They don't have a Courtois. They don't have players like Lampard and Terry and all those players. But it's still Chelsea. Let's not forget. Yes, you could scoff at the trophies they won last year. You could scoff at the Conference League, but can you really scoff at the World Club Championships when they beat PSG? That's the Chelsea, and some of those players played in that final. So it's one of those things where you've got to take what was given. We did all our best work in the first leg. Let's not forget, it was one in the first leg. We scored 3 goals at their place. We let in 2, but we did play good football then. That's when you got to remember it's 180 minutes. Sometimes the first half, you play your football. The second half, when you've got something to hold, it's all about getting a Wembley, and that's what we did. Credit to the manager as well.
Thanks.
He didn't make stupid substitutions.
He weren't jumping around like a jack in the box either.
Not at all, because at the end of the day, he knows that Arsenal shouldn't be about silver medals. We don't know who we're going to get. We assume it's going to be Man City. We assume that even though Man City can't finish their dinner, in that particular match, they could be 2-0 up and they can get to 2-2. But the fact is they've got a cushion, so we have to assume it's Man City. Now we're in the final, we can now concentrate in the league. We can keep players fresh. Yes, we've got the FA Cup against Wigan, but it's Wigan. Next juncture and next destination is Sunderland. Let's enjoy it. Let's plan our trips to Wembley. Let's think about how much we've got to save for our tickets, because at the end of the day, the ticket prices are going to come. Some of us may be eligible. Some of us may not have enough points. The fact is, enjoy today, sleep well, sleep tight, and then tomorrow, it's all about Sunderland, because guess what? We still got to win this league. We've got opportunity.
But that's what I like about the managers tonight, yeah? The manager went bouncing around like a jack in the box there. And if you go back, if you take this back to the away game against them, the first league, right? Yeah, we conceded a second goal. Yeah, I think we'll say that was naive from us because we carried on going forward. No, he does not rate their manager. He does not rate their team. Yeah, so when we're 3-1 up at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, we attack because we were trying to kill that in the first leg. Yeah,
we
obviously we got sucker punched. Yeah, but now he then goes, okay, cool. If I go toe for toe with them, they could do us, and it's only 1 goal in it now. Yeah. Now we're at home. We've had 3 games, where we dropped points. Then we got a great result. In Europe, and we got a great result against Leeds at the weekend. Yeah. And after 5-10 minutes, Kenny, even though people are onto Eze, they're onto Iokeris, other people, that's cool. Whatever. It didn't matter how we got through tonight, Kenny. We done the work in the first leg.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the fact that he went gung ho in that first leg tells me he does not rate them. I don't rate him, Kenny. And that was the easiest night's work they'll ever have.
Let's put in perspective.
In a big game like that with the pressure on. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
Let me land this. Sorry.
Yeah.
When the pressure's on, Kenny, normally we fold.
Yeah.
The pressure was on against Leeds. We walloped them 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pressure was on tonight. It's only one goal in it. I was expecting them to come out and throw everything at us first 10 minutes. They did nothing.
Never good up.
First 10 minutes, they did nothing. I was like, this is comfy. Cheers. Second half, I expected them to throw everything at us. They did nothing. So I was like, this is easy. They're shit scared of us. Arteta weren't bouncing around.
Yeah. He's a negative manager.
Yeah.
He's a negative manager.
They've got a manager on their bench. Yeah, that is one less than Jolien and looks like Jolien, bro.
Yeah, but you got. I hear what you're saying. But you got to remember two things, right? We weren't playing Liverpool with still the reputation of Salah. We haven't got playing against Ekitike, and we haven't got to play against a Dominic Szoboszlai. If that had been Liverpool, of course we'd be like kittens. Man City, despite the fact that they can't close the game out, they've got so much quality in attacking areas. So that's one of the things where you look at us today, and let's face it, if you were Arteta and you saw their team sheet 3 weeks ago, no disrespect to Chelsea, I'm not trying to make out that we're the Dons, but let's be honest, that team sheet from 3 weeks ago didn't scare anybody. You look at the players they didn't have and the squad he had, it was a scratch side, and we cleaned up. Let's face it, his hand was forced. They had injuries. I was speaking to some Chelsea fans, and they told me that they had injuries 3 weeks ago. So that's the team he had to play. He did marginally well to get down to 3-2. But this time, it was a case where he's still not sure about their fitness, and it played into our hands. No Neto. Neto on that right-hand side, who knows what will happen? We probably would have locked him off anyway. That's how determined we'd get at Wembley. But it's a quality player he didn't have. So when he did get the players on, if they went gung-ho with us, who knows? Maybe we would have won about 4 or 5. He couldn't have. From what someone mentioned to me after the game, he's basically said that it was like fencing from Rossini. I didn't want to be disgraced. How he played. I didn't want to go out in disgrace, so I made it as close as I could, but I didn't really think we could win. And
Facts.
That says it all about his appointment. Now, I'm not digging him out.
He'll be sacked at the end of the season.
He may be a success. He may be a success at Chelsea.
Kenny, they sacked a manager that won 2 trophies to hire a manager
but the problem with Chelsea
and got sacked from Hull City.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is?
Same at Tottenham.
They
sack a manager that won a trophy.
But in fact, the problem is the reason why Maresca was sacked was 2 things: insubordination, and Chelsea fans weren't happy with neither. The reason why managers, these modern owners, sack managers is not because of performance. Is that they'd rather sack the manager rather than feel the heat, and that's why Maresca was sacked, and that's why Postecoglou was sacked. 17th is not acceptable for a team at Tottenham, and if Thomas Frank finishes in that position this season, he'll be sacked as well. In terms of like Rossini, right now it's all about getting the top 4. Who knows? Next season they're probably going to look for the big time, but for the foreseeable future, we're at a level where Chelsea have to look up to us. Remember the days when they used to bully us with Terry, Drogba, Carvalho, Petr Cech, Lamps, and they used to always patronise us afterwards and treat us like little boys. Well, guess what? Chelsea haven't beaten us in 5 years.
Last 11 games we played them. They in one game. Mate.
So
8 wins. 3 draws. They can hold that tonight.
Exactly. And the other thing that's even more pleasing is that there's no Abramovich to throw money at it. Yeah, they throw money at it, but at the end of the day,
but he don't know what he's doing. That guy.
No, we know what Clearlake could do. Clearlake could basically using them, buying players, sell them on for a profit. But this time, they don't want to spend big for a big stars because that's not what they're about. They're about consolidation, not winning. And
facts.
To all you Chelsea fans, you have my sympathies. Actually, you don't,
Nah,
because you've got
F 'em.
2 Euro stuff. You lot,
F 'em.
you've won. You've won in the last 20. In the last 21 years, you won
They've won
more than
about
we have.
fucking 30 trophies or
You
something,
won. You
25
won.
trophies or
Well,
something. F 'em, Kenny.
you won more than we can ever dream about. And now it's our time. But you know what? The only way to actually gloat is if we win the Carabao Cup. Like a
We're
Chelsea
winning it,
fan,
Kenny. We're winning it.
but a Chelsea, a lady was when I was having a bit of battle with Chelsea fans. She said to me, and she was right. We better win it, because the way I went on afterwards, celebrating, says you better win it because it's going to be a waste. And she's right. Let's win. Let's win the league and let's win trophies. That way, that's our currency. It's no good beating Chelsea and having nothing to show for it.
Facts. And on that bombshell, I know you're home already, or nearly home.
Nearly up, yeah.
You're nearly home. Shout your Instagram out. I'll share your last post, your reaction.
Well, I'm at Kenny Ken 1972, and I'll tell you one thing: it's bloody freezing. There's one thing worse about when it's raining, when it's bloody cold. But guess what? When your team gets to Wembley, are you really bothered about the cold? Nah.
They can hold that. Yeah, get out of here. Love you, Kenny, man. I'll see you at the weekend. All right, get your ticket, get your final ticket. Jez has got one. You're going to get one.
I hope so.
Let's go.